like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today's guest is Carlos Martinez, and he is founder and CEO over at Leanware. Carlos, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Happy to be here.
All right, Carlos. So we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about what it looks like to build quality software using an outsourcing partner. I also want to get into how you bootstrapped a company to where now you have over 50 plus developers working for you and with you. So excited to get into this. I think it's an amazing entrepreneurial story. Before we get into all that, we're going to start this episode the way that we start them all, with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So Carlos, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Carlos, what mission matters to you?
For me, it's very important to be a catalyst on helping entrepreneurs, founders, CEOs, making their vision a reality in the form of web applications, mobile applications. So every time, that first prototype, that look on their face when they first see their baby coming to life, that's worth the whole deal. It's worth the whole payrolls and taxes that I have to do. So yeah, that's my mission.
Yeah, it's amazing, Carlos. I even like the way you talk about it. You're like, it's like they see their baby, their new whatever it was, the app or the application, or they see whatever that idea was that was maybe on a napkin or a piece of paper at first, and now it's reality and they can see it like in the world. I think it's great, and I think it's great to have you on. So let's just go a little bit kind of further back in your story. So Leanware, like where did all this come about? Like, were you out before even this? Were you always an entrepreneur? Did you have that entrepreneurial spirit in you? Where did that start?
I guess that I come from an entrepreneur family. We got this really early from my father. Most of his life he has been has his own company, obviously different company, different market, in different market. I guess that both of my brothers and myself picked it up because there was no other way around it. You picked it up, or I don't know.
Yeah. What was it like in the holidays around the kitchen table with that one, like in the family? Was there a lot of entrepreneur talk going on?
Definitely. There were phrases thrown around like, you don't create wealth in a 9-to-5. Obviously, it's like a old mindset. My father is 70 plus years old right now. So those contexts might not apply today for obvious reasons. But it was kind of the feeling and kind of the education we were brought up under, a lot of correctness, ethics, and strictness. For example, I didn't miss a single day of school. No one believes me that, but during my high school and middle school, not a single day. I even got
even middle school?
Nothing, zero. My father and my mother were really strict about that. So growing up in an environment like that, obviously I picked up some 9-to-5 jobs early on in my career.
Before we get into that though, when you were a kid, did you have some small businesses or something else like that? Like when you were one of those, if you're at school, you're going to school, were you selling candy? What were you selling? Like you were doing something.
So at that point, the novel thing was like burning your own CDs.
So you're pirating music. Okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot say it was 100% legal, but I was a 12-year-old, 20-year-old. So yeah. So basically, I got feedback from people, what music do you like, and put together this in CDs, even MP3s.
So you were in the wild west of all of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, and there's a funny story about that. So it grew it started growing to different forms. At some point, I was working with a portable console from Sony that basically you had to pay to get the game. So you got into forums, you find ways around that.
Yeah.
And I at some point, and this was probably my most profitable business as a school entrepreneur. At some point, I was selling the services of jailbreaking the thing. And people were literally coming into my house, and my father was, okay, do you know who's coming? And I have no idea.
Oh my God.
I have no idea. And at some point, when I opened the door, it had an elevator that put you directly into the apartment. There wasn't an in between.
Okay, I got it. So if you let them up, they're up.
No, they're already at your house, right? when I opened out, it was a local policeman that walked in, and my father was like, "What did you do? Just tell me the truth. What are you doing? What are you hacking? What?" And then the policeman pulls his gun to the other side and gets the console out and, can you do this for my son, please? And literally, he was sitting in our living room with all the equipment and everything while I was doing the thing. Pretty nervous, actually. That was when my father said, "Okay, I had enough. Maybe you should take a different path."
Is this when you got like, I noticed this pattern of tech, right? Like, were you into tech and like, I don't know if the word's gadgets or like, you know what I mean? But you were into the physical version of tech, even with that, even with CDs, with this, like you're going into forums. Is that like, that's kind of what sucked you in, huh? Like to start developing your skill set in problem solving.
Yeah, I guess it all goes back to my gaming background, not professional gaming. I was terrible at it, but I really enjoyed it, playing video games online. At that point, there was this first game from Blizzard that it was an novelty in the sense that you have to pay a monthly subscription for. And I used to play it a lot, and I used to mod my PC a lot to be able to play it better.
What year was this, roughly? Roughly what year, roughly?
That was probably 2004.
Wow. So for some context, they had almost a SaaS product, or we weren't necessarily using that term back then, but that was the early days of it. Like them figuring out that was pioneering back then.
In my friends circle, only 3 of us were playing the actual game and paying for it. And we were called like, "You guys are crazy. Why are you going to pay a monthly fee to play a video game? It doesn't make sense." 20 years later, here we are. But anyways, in that game, I got
you shouldn't have been burning CDs in jailbreak. You should have been creating that one. No, I'm just messing with you. Go ahead. I had to.
Yeah. So I had to mod my PC and I components. And also in this game, it had a scripting language where you can automate some of the actions your character did. So I wrote some scripting there as well. So that was my first exposure to programming, and that was in LDUA scripts, which is a really old language. So and actually in 2004, I think it was, my father had to go to a in-person meeting with Cisco Academy back in my hometown for them to let me take a course on IT because I was too young. So they wouldn't let me in because I was underage.
Wow.
Everyone there was really old, basically. And they say, "Okay, you can get in if we can get your father's approval. You guys need to do an interview process and all that." So I guess that passion was there since the beginning. That you get in high school.
How forward thinking of your father, if you think about it from his position, like he's got this crazy kid on his hand. He's doing all these things. My guess is, I don't want to assume, you said it's in many different businesses, but I'm guessing he wasn't like in a tech business or in that field. He doesn't actually know. He knows his son is super talented, has a lot of interest. I'm sure he knows tech is the future of the world, because I'm sure being in business and with the type of conversations. So now he's trying to figure out how to deal with you and how to give you your dream. Like, that's an amazing story. Like, from his point of view, like, that's amazing. Like, how do I deal with this kid? I got to go take these classes. Like, what do I got to do next, man?
It was crazy. But he always supported me in every single way in my passions. I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. Let's fast forward the story a little bit, but I love this, and thank you for sharing, because it's interesting to see the dynamics here. So now, obviously, fast forwarding a bit, you come up with this concept of Leanware. Why did you see this need in the market? Like how did this come about?
So I started Leanware in early 2020. I had a lot of work experience. I was a software architect by then, which is like one of the end game when it comes to tiers it's junior, mid, senior, architect. There are other ways to see it, but to see it in a simple way, to put it in a simple way, I had a lot of experience gained already, and I work with really big companies as a consultant, as a contractor consultant, like Unilever, Chevron, Cargill, like really big global companies in IT consulting, cybersecurity, networking, and software. So I had a little bit of knowledge in a lot of areas, and I kept seeing how people make, or entrepreneurs, when they're trying to build their products, kept making the same mistakes from a tech perspective, and those mistakes cost them money. And you know the Leonardo DiCaprio meme that he's like, oh yeah, I saw that. I felt that way because through my career I made those mistakes, and I make the company I used to work for lose money on those mistakes. But you're a junior, right? You're a mid. You're there to learn.
Of course.
So when I started Leanware, I started because I want to create a company where me and my co-founder can put all of our knowledge and experience at the disposal of our clients, or even the people who sometimes they don't even necessarily need to pay. We're happy with that, so they don't make those same mistakes. And I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm not saying that it's tech, right? You need to be constantly learning and evolving and adapting, especially in this AI era. But you're better off like people who have been in the business for 15, 20 years. I'm doing this than trying to learn it all yourself and
for sure.
Falling into the oversimplification on how to build good software, like production level, world class, good quality software.
Yeah, that 15 years of education or whatever that amount of time is, that's expensive. Yeah. Making mistakes is expensive. So you obviously were serving a need in the market, and you obviously found the right clients, and you found, and you created a correct culture. Because correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I don't want to be off. You have over 50 developers now on the team. Am I off on that?
Yeah, no, that's accurate.
How does that feel? Do you look around and you're like, man, where'd all these people come from? That's how I look sometimes. I'm like, where'd all these people come from? Obviously, I know where they came from, but that's how I feel. It feels like just the other day, it was me and the other co-founder, employee number 1 and 2.
Employer 1 and 2, and backend developer 1 and front developer 2, and that was it. Like, there was no other way around it. We did a lot of coding in the early days. Well, I guess that the first time I got that feeling was when someone was hired that I didn't interview.
Yeah.
Right. So that person obviously went through a whole process.
Of course.
English, skill sets, cultural fit, background checks, blah blah blah. The whole recruitment and onboarding process. And I didn't know his face. I didn't know him at all. And that that's good, right? Because you're creating processes, you're scaling.
Of course.
But it is a little bit scary. It was a little bit scary at that time. Nowadays it happens every week. So I learned to cope with that. And from the 50% perspective, today's a really good day to ask it, because it's the payroll day. So it's when the fund it's a stressful day usually. But we have great developers. We've come around we're mature our processes and our recruitment or onboarding to make sure that we have basically the biggest filter is culture, and that soft skills, hard skills can be learned, soft skills are a little bit harder.
Yeah. What do you think the secret to this, some of the secrets are to some of this growth that you've had, or whether it's creating the right culture, the right processes, what's the secret? Like, what are some of the things you feel? Yeah,
I think it's straightforward. Well, first, obviously you need to work hard. You need to love what you do. That's obvious. And that's, I guess for us at least, the main point has been actually caring for what we do, for the products we're involved in, for our clients. To this day, I try to be at least once a week in a call with, where we do demos, where we do follow-ups. I didn't write a single line of code. I don't take any credit for any of the deliverables or anything. It's always a grace to the team. But I guess that, our clients feeling like, the partners, the founder care about us. And actually, when we make mistakes, because we make mistakes, we're not perfect, obviously, we are the only ones to own it and be in the front lines, in the trenches, trying to solve them and adjust whatever needs to be adjusted. So that creates a feeling of friendship, even I will say. So some of our clients have become even partners. We've been engaged into joint ventures together, and some have become friends, like actual drink friends, where all the way to, having drinks, having dinner with the founders' wife and families getting together. So that has been a really rewarding process.
Isn't that
And
wild? Isn't that wild
it's
when you
crazy.
realize that it's in person? Like that's how our entire community is. Like when I see some people, I mean, we started this about 8 years ago, and a little over or going on 8 years in another month or two, I think. And when I see this, or if we finally meet somebody in person or something, we did a meetup the other day in Orange County, and when I was talking to somebody, I'm like, man, you sound familiar. Like, do I know? And he's like, yeah, I was on your show like 6 years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, and that's a good memory too, because yeah, and actually we did this a couple of months ago. We went to, I think, 8 cities in the US:
Wow.
Phoenix, Seattle, Vegas, Columbus, Detroit, where we sit together just for a quick lunch, quick dinner,
Mm,
jokes, drinks with our clients, because we really value the level of personal relationship and trust
yeah.
we can build and nourish with our clients, because we don't want to be the typical outsourcing partner that just throw a bunch of people into a problem and
Hmm.
get on with it. This mindset obviously puts a roof on how much we can scale, but we're
Hmm.
happy with that. We're not in the mission of becoming millionaires doing this. We're in the
Yeah.
mission to empowering founders. And
Yeah.
obviously we make money in the
Of course.
way we make enough money. We're not people that overspend, or
Yeah.
are highly ambitious people. We do fine. We're happy with that, and we're happy with adding value and bringing products to life.
Where do you feel Leanware adds the most value to to the clients? Where do you feel that comes from?
In creating that feeling, that certainty, that if it's tech related, that's fine. Leave it to them. They will solve
Hmm.
it, right? That assurance, that sense of security, basically propels the founders to be able to go into sales, get into marketing, get into
Hmm.
like validation with users, get exposed to the market, and they don't have to worry about all the nuances and all the things we love, like
Yeah.
architecture, dealing with AWS, building the front end, the back end, the mobile application, dealing with the app stores, all the
Hmm.
nuances that are around building an application, or a web application, or mobile application, or
Hmm.
digital products for that matter. I think the most value is creating that sense of assurance that
Mm.
you're with us, you're fine.
Yeah. This is great. Well, Carlos, man, this is a lot of fun. I mean, it's fun having you on. It's fun hearing the stories. Shout out to your dad for dealing with you.
I know. Definitely.
Shout out to him and the whole family. And I love this early story. It's a lot of fun because when I think about what sometimes the parents of those young entrepreneurs got to deal with and other things like that. It's amazing that we get to do what we do because of many that have, paved a path for us before we even, got here.
Definitely, yeah.
That being said, man, what's next? What's next for you? What's next for Leanware?
I guess that keep building products, keep building great products,
Yeah.
and keep try to make the world a better place through technology, and
Mhm.
definitely start leveraging AI for our current clients, and
Mhm.
we're have a think tank for that, to make sure that we're leveraging these new technologies as they come out, start
Mhm.
testing them out, and yeah, put them at the disposal of the people.
Amazing. And Carlos, if somebody wants to follow up because they have a project or they want to, talk to somebody in your team or they want more, how do they do that?
So the easiest way is going to our website, leanware.co. Really simple. Fill out the form or just send an email, info@leanware.co. I have an OCD. I cannot have any pending notifications. So I usually read a reply really fast. You know the 3 minute rule, 2 minute rule, sorry, that if something takes less than 2 minutes to do it right away. For me,
Yep.
it's like 10 minutes. Yeah, I try to be really responsive when things get to me. So yeah, that's the easiest way to do it.
Good stuff. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll put that information in the show notes so that you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters or engaging in an episode and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we are bringing you new entrepreneurs, new content, new thoughts, new inspiration. Hopefully, that's going to help you along in your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe button. And again, Carlos, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Adam.